Okay, so we have an example here where we are going to enter values into our calculator and use our calculator to find these values here. We're going to find the range, the sum of the data values, the sum of the squares, the mean, the variance, the standard deviation, and then the coefficient of variation. So if you don't already have these values plugged into your calculator, put this video on pause and enter these values in. Okay, if you don't know how to do that, you hit your stat button and then you hit edit, and then you can choose a list, it doesn't matter which one, and make sure you go through and enter all your values. So you hit the value, enter, then you hit the next value, and then you hit enter, and you go ahead and go and through all of those. Now, since there's a lot of data values here, it's easy to make a mistake, so take your time. All right, once you have all your data values in, what you're going to do to find these values on your calculator, the first one, to find the range, we need to find the min minus the max. Okay, so I'm going to hit my stat button, and this time I'm going to arrow over to calculate, and I'm going to tell the calculator to do one variable stacks. Since I put my data list into my list 5, I'm going to make sure it says L5 here. If you put it in L1, you just make sure you have the correct list here. If you're not sure where to get those lists from, if you look on your calculator, above your 1, above your 2, above your 3, it has your lists. So since mine's in blue above the 1, I would have to hit my second button first and then choose which list I want. Okay, so I'm going to put in list 5, and I'm going to come down and hit calculate. And this is going to give me all kinds of information. This X bar is my sample mean. So right off the bat, I know what this value is right here. I can get it right here. It's 1.2412. Since the question asks, let's see, round to 2 decimal places, I'm going to put 1.24. Okay, I can get my sum and the sum of the squares also off here. Here's my sum, so it would be 62.06. And then the sum of the squares would be right here, 164.09 when we round to 2 places. So I'll put that in here, 62.06, and then 164.09 from rounding. And again, these are the values that I'm just getting right here from my one variable stacks. Okay, the next thing I want to get is my sample standard deviation. I can get that. That's my S on the calculator. So that's right here, my SX right here. So that's 1.3329. Since we are going to round to 2 places, I'm going to put 1.33. Okay, then I'm going to find the range. That is the max minus the min. So to find the max and the min, I'm going to scroll down. There's my min. My min is 0.01. I'm going to scroll down, and there's my max, 7.89. So I take 7.89 minus 0.01. There's my max. There's my min. So my range is going to be 7.88. Okay, now to find my variance, my S squared, I'm just going to square this. So I'm going to take 1.33 and square it. .33, and I'm going to raise it to the power of 2. And I get 1.7689, but since this is asking us to round to 2 places, I believe, let's see, two places, I'm going to make sure I put in 1.77. Okay. All right, now the last one is to find, let's see, the coefficient of variation. And then we want to put this in percent form. So when we get our answer, we need to multiply by 100 to put it in percent form. And I want to make sure I round to the nearest whole number. So our coefficient of variation is the standard deviation over my mean. And then I have to remember to multiply it by 100 to put it in percent form. So I'm going to take my S, which is 1.33, and I'm going to divide by my X bar, my mean, which is 1.24, and then I'm going to multiply by 100. So 1.33 divided by 1.24, then multiply by 100. And since the question wants us to round to the nearest whole percent, I'm going to just put in 107%. And there you go. So as you can see, most of these values we're getting right off of one variable stacks. There's very little arithmetic that we have to do. This here, finding the coefficient of variation, and then squaring your standard deviation is the other thing that you need to do.